more people.
Yeah, wonderful.
So we're going to kick off.
Please feel free. I'm just going to follow you.
Follow me.
Yeah. Okay.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. Welcome to the Joy Temple. My name is Janie. This is Hutt Radio. I'm really excited to be here with you today. It's always my pleasure to spend time with you on Saturday morning, and I hope you've got something really fabulous planned. I have a couple of guests with me in the studio today, and I'll be introducing my first guest in a moment. Let's have a look at the weather though before we do anything else today, because I believe it's going to be quite lovely out there today. Now, we are also live streaming on Facebook and on the Joy Temple Facebook if you want to catch all the behind the scenes action as well. Now, we're heading for a top of 20 degrees. Can you believe that? Can you believe that, guys? 20 degrees today. That's amazing. We're currently sitting at 11 and we're going for an overnight low of 9 degrees. And it is expected to be cloudy at first. Then we'll have fine spells from this afternoon and a possible shower or two around the Hutt Valley this afternoon or this evening with light winds. And tomorrow is also looking fabulous, 20 degrees. And we are going to be having a mildly fine day with a chance of a shower in the afternoon. There'll be northerlies developing in the morning and it'll be a low of 12 tomorrow. So there we go. We are into the show and I would like to straight away introduce you to my first guest. I have two groups of people coming in today. Firstly, I have Jitan and Osvaldo from the Universal Church of the Kingdom of God. They're advertisers here on Hutt Radio and they've come in to tell us about an event that they're holding. So they're going to be short, sharp and snappy because you've got other places to be. And then later on this morning, I will be joined by my main guest and her name is Avin Khajehzadeh, and she has recently won the Girlboss Inclusion Award for her work helping to transform healthcare for refugee mothers. So it's going to be a beautiful, energy, fun-filled, love-filled morning on the Joy Temple. So hello guys, welcome to Hutt Radio. How are you today?
Hi Jane, good morning. Good morning to all people here that are listening to the Joy Temple. It's a pleasure, first of all, to be here with you.
Thank you.
For you to welcome us here. So we are good.
Great. So I got an email from Rex, who's our station manager, a couple of weeks ago, and he said, could you please reach out to this group because they are doing some advertising with us for an event that's coming up. And I park over in the car park now at the market because obviously the parking around here is a bit ridiculous with the, Saturday pay parking. And so as I was heading back to my car, I saw your setup at the market. So I thought I'll come and introduce myself and say hello. And we took a photo, which was really lovely. And today is the day you are here in the studio to tell us about your event. So yes. I also have Jitan with us, and you have been helped by the church, haven't you? They've helped you through some perhaps times in your life when you've needed some support. So Osvaldo, could you tell us a little bit about your church and the event that's coming up, and then we can get Jitan to share his story and how you have helped him.
Sure. So the UCKG Health Center has been here in New Zealand for over 15 years right now. So we are established as a charity. So we do a lot of charity works, so helping reach out to the community. And this event that we are going to bring to Lower Hutt is the first time, is the third edition of this event. The first two was held in Auckland and was amazing. So many people came and they were very glad to participate of the event. It's the very first time we're bringing up this event to Lower Hutt at Lower Hutt Event Center. Mm-hmm. So that's gonna be the first time and very big one. So we are going to explain in a few minutes to you more about that. But the event is like rooted in the Christian's faith. It's like based in Christian's faith. However, the event is not exclusive for Christians people. It's for everybody, all kinds of people, all religious, people who are Christians or not Christians, people who are Muslims, people who are Indians or Hindus. Doesn't matter the
So
religions.
more of a community
The
event.
community,
Yeah.
because the subject that we're gonna talk is related to all of us.
Yeah.
So the All Answers event. So
All answers. It's
All-
called All Answers.
all
We get all the
answers.
answers at the event.
yeah, so that is very nice subject that I want to explain why.
Sure.
So the name of the event. So All Answers event. Some people ask why All Answers. They never heard about something like that, but there is something very important to understand about that, and that's what the reason why we came to your show, so that we can explain to the community, to the people, that they may understand why this event is so important for them to come, and for families, and for kids, and for everybody, because I believe that everyone needs to know the answer for something in life. So that's we are going to talk now.
And what kind of answers will people be seeking, or will you be offering for people who come to this event?
Okay, so about the All Answers event, as I said, is rooted in a Christian faith.
Yeah.
If we understand a little bit about the Bible, the history, we see that everyone that came to God, like in faith, in the time of Jesus Christ, we see that every person that came to seek help, all the people, they did not go back home without an answer. And it's important to speak about faith, not religious, because in that time there was no religion, there's no church, there is no institution. That time there was just faith in God, God in Jesus Christ, and people who are looking for a way out to their problems. Today, many people raise a flag. My church is this, my religion is that. And they forget that the only one who can give an answer for all problems, it is God. And I came here to your show to speak about that.
Yeah.
To speak about no matter what people are going through, no matter what situation people are facing in life, doesn't matter how big or how small is the issue that they are going through. They may not know the problem, they may not know the solution of those problems. But I tell you, and all those who are listening, there is a way out, there is a solution. We only need to find the answer.
Yeah.
We only need to look for the answer. And this, who can give the answer? It's not myself, it's not a religion, but it is God who knows all things and has all the answer to all people who need the answer. That's why we brought this event, for people to understand that all answers, only one can have and can give to people.
Lovely. So Osvaldo, I consider myself to be a spiritual person. I don't believe in one particular God as such. And my grandmother used to say, God is just good.
Yes.
And God does good. And I firmly believe that, you know, we have a power who watches over us and helps us and guides us. And, you know, God may be different to different people.
Yes.
But if they come to your event, as you say, everybody is welcome regardless of what religion or faith they believe in, and they can come and be in a supportive place and enjoy some time. Well, what else will happen at this event?
Very good question.
Oh, good. I've got the good questions.
I like this question because that's what I want to speak. You are not like a person that is a rooted Christian, right? But you need answer. And you will seek answer according to your faith. So you have faith. For example, we are talking to people that have faith because they believe something. They believe in the nature. So they seek answers from the nature.
Yeah.
They are, let's say, they have no faith at all. They are kind of people that they are atheists. They don't
Uh-huh.
believe in anything, but they still need an answer for their daily problems. How they gonna pray? How they gonna seek? How they gonna get this answer? They have to do it according to what they want to believe. But we need an answer. If you're gonna pray according to your faith, but because you believe that you need an answer for your life, that's what matters.
Yeah.
You know, that's why the event is open. People will be motivated to seek the answer according to their faith, because our faith leads us, pushes us to get what we want.
Yeah.
And that's why the event doesn't mean that only Christians, because there are people who are from, he came before, like G10, he came because he was looking for an answer to his problems. And his problems, that he did not know what to do, he did not know how to seek these answers. But when he started understand how to use his faith, he was able today to be a better person.
To open up his world, yeah.
Yes.
That's lovely. And now, when is the event? Please tell us when the event is.
This event will take place on the 27th October
Yeah.
at 5 p.m. here in Hutt Event Center. Well-known place, so here in the heart of Hutt.
Beautiful. Now, Osvaldo, we might play a song,
Yes.
and then we'll come back and we will talk to Jitan about and share his story. I have just picked a song today called "You Can Do Magic" by America, because it's a beautiful song, but I think, you know, we all have the power to find the magic within ourselves to change our life and go forth and grow and live a fabulous life with, you know, our own inner guidance or the guidance of others who can help us. So I'm going to play this beautiful song, and then we will come
Very
back
nice.
and continue on with our conversation.
Thank you.
No worries.
All good?
There we go.
Well, all good?
Very good.
Very nice. Yeah, that's important
Very
to explain
nice.
these points about, because some people go there, they're not Christian at all.
Yeah.
And what you ask is very good. And some people, they will pray in the way that they know to pray.
Yeah.
It's not, I can't put my way of believing, my way of praying, but people should use their faith. If
Yeah.
they know how to pray, they will pray. If they do not know, we can, when everybody's praying, they can pray together, they can motivate them to pray.
That
And the
energy is
prayer,
very empowering.
the prayer is energy.
Yeah.
Prayer is like we put outside this energy, this power. We understand that faith is power
Yeah. Yeah.
because it connects us to something supernatural.
Yeah.
And
And
that's
that's a
beautiful.
really interesting conversation, and I think, you know, I'm not someone who's overly religious, right?
Yes.
So to be even holding this conversation for me is
Yes.
very different. But my
Yes.
husband is Hindu, and I totally respect his beliefs and faith. But I have my own inner guidance, which is, you know, my God is what I choose to develop and grow, and that's how I've grown as a person. So I think there's so many things out there to help us on our path.
But
right?
you see, religious can divide people.
Absolutely.
You know,
Well,
for
we're
example,
seeing
if
it
I'm
right now,
here
aren't
and
we?
if I say no, my religion is better, my religion is the best, and then you will defend yours,
Yeah.
and then what's gonna be? A fight.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
if I respect your faith, you feel good,
Yeah.
and you respect our faith, we feel good. We can be good friends.
Yeah.
Like you get along with your husband.
Yeah.
You're different faith,
Yeah.
but you get along.
Yeah.
So it
exactly.
means that you don't need to fight for
No.
that. But we just need to be with this in mind. We can find the answer.
Find a unity
Exactly.
to help to move forward. Yeah.
For
I
example,
get it.
in his story, he was drinking, smoking,
Mhm.
and he wanted to stop. He
Mhm.
wanted to find a solution for his problem. But he could not, isn't it? How was for you?
It was very hard because
You're happy to share your story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
We'll be
yeah.
back on air soon, and you can.
and it was hard because I tried many things to quit smoking, quit drinking,
Yeah.
quit the drugs. But I could have stopped for a little bit, just
Yeah.
for a week or month. Then I'll go back to it again.
Yeah.
And the reason being was I didn't knew exactly the right answer. I didn't
Yeah.
have the right answer because I was looking for answers everywhere else.
Yeah.
And I had the same situation. I had someone who invited me, like this guy used to believe in Hindu religion also.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
And we not like here like to change anyone or anything, but it's about the faith. It's about people's own decision. And I made the decision that day, like because the problems I used to go through was not only addictions, family problems, marriage problems.
Yeah.
I had a
Well,
son
it's
also,
all overwhelming, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's so many. We're nearly ready to come back on air, but I think your story is going to be really powerful for people today as well, because there's a lot of people out there struggling. There's a lot of people really struggling, and it's hard to watch it and see it and not know how to help as well.
And it is good not to touch as well was Hindu or whatever. Just talk about your story,
Yeah.
and you come to learn,
Yeah.
and today you are okay.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Joy Temple. You're listening to Hutt Radio. My name is Janie. It's 9:16 a.m. on this beautiful Saturday morning. I hope that you've got something fabulous planned for the weekend. I don't have too much planned this weekend. I've got my mum in town. She arrived last Saturday from Australia, so she'll be hanging out with me, and who knows what we'll get up to. Now, this morning I have with me Gitan and Osvaldo from the Universal Church of the Kingdom of God, and they are here talking about an event. They are wonderful advertisers here on our station, and I'm going to pass the mic over to Gitan to tell us a little bit about his journey and some of the challenges he has faced and how the church has helped him to get through those. So good morning, Gitan. How are you today?
Good morning, Jen. I'm good. Thanks for inviting us this morning. And we are here about to pass the message to people. I'll share my testimony, like what I used to be, how I was before coming to Universal Church. So I had many problems. I had addictions, with smoking, with drinking, with drugs.
What kind of drugs? Can I ask what kind of drugs?
I tried weed and cocaine. So
yeah.
and I was like, won't come home, like probably I'll reach home like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. sometimes. Even sometimes I would sleep outside on the veranda. I couldn't even get inside because that's how drunk I was.
Wow.
And I had 2 kids that time, and I had couldn't spend any time with them. I had a business that time too, which I will use all those money back into gambling. That was another addiction I had. I will never grow in financial life that way also. But someone came to invite me, saw our situation, and as Pastor was saying in the beginning, it's about all answers. And I was just looking for those answers, and I found that answer at UCKG. The answer came is not because just I went there, but because I believed. When I listened to the word, when I listened to the direction which was given to me, and I obeyed the direction, and I followed. And today, after doing taking those actions, those things which I did, because I was looking like I couldn't quit the addiction because I was looking everywhere. I even went to back in the islands to do something to quit, and which I still couldn't quit for long. I would just quit for a month or 2 weeks, and I'll go back into it again.
Yeah, addiction is a disease, and I would just like to say I recently had my husband on the show because he came from a very difficult family environment where his father was an alcoholic, and that was all he ever knew was the violence that came from his own father's alcoholism, which was passed on to his to the family. And it is a disease, right? It is a disease that you need to actually get help with to overcome it. So for you to be able to move through that is, amazing. So please tell us more about how you've been able to do that.
Yeah. So what I did after that was when I got the direction from the man of God at the church was I used 2 elements which I was given. Like I was given a blessed order, and also a bottle of oil, as we will be giving on this event. So I used to actually anoint myself with the oil, my tongue, and I used to do that just to get out of and I did slowly. It didn't happen overnight because I believe things sometimes can happen overnight, but it didn't happen for me overnight. It took me about 3 months to get over it, and the main thing was I used my faith. That
Yeah.
elements which I used wasn't that healed me or set me free. It was my faith.
Yeah.
It did. And I after that slowly I can see I stopped having that craving of smoking, stopped having that desire to drink, go out partying, nightclubs and all those, and it started going away
Yeah.
slowly. And I can say after doing all those, today I am totally free.
Well
I
done, you.
Yeah, and it's like it's over 7 years now.
Amazing.
And I haven't gone back to. I don't even want to see it, to be honest. Like
Yeah.
if I smell some smoke in the distance, I can even feel like vomiting. To be honest, like that's
Yeah.
how I am now.
Yeah.
But it took a decision, the decision that I made that day to go and seek answers,
Yeah.
and I got that answer. So I will probably say to the people who are listening now in the radio, go and seek your answer. You will see, as Pastor was saying in the beginning, I heard like when in the like in biblical way, like when anyone came to God, they received the answer. God didn't let anyone go with empty-handed. So I believe the same thing, that whoever comes to this event on the 27th October, they will receive the answer, but they need to come.
Okay,
Without
that's the thing.
coming,
That's
yeah.
the message. They need to come. Okay, so the 27th of October is the event at, where was it again? The event centre.
Yes, that's gonna be held at Lower Hutt Event Center
Yep.
here in the heart of Lower Hutt.
Yeah.
So many people know, but if they want more information, they can call our helpline. That is 021-130-8247.
Can you repeat that? 021.
130-8247.
Yep. Okay, lovely. So you can make contact
Yes.
with the Universal Church of the
That's
Kingdom
correct.
of God if you'd like more information about the event. So guys, thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it today, and I hope you have a beautiful day. It looks like, well, it's looking a bit cloudy out there now, but I'm hoping that it'll be lovely and warm. You're heading back over to the market now to...
That's correct.
Yeah.
We're gonna go there now to promote more the events. And I wanna tell all the listeners from the radio, your program, that's also many people participate, listen. So all of you are welcome. Come and try, come and see. And you will experience as well the power of God in your life. Regardless your religious, your background, we're not like come here to speak about that, but to help the community that they may have the answer that they are looking for to their kids, to their families, to their own self sometimes, and for their health and all the areas of their life.
It can be
And
a start.
thank you so much,
My pleasure. It's been
Jenny,
my pleasure.
to welcome us. I hope to be here more and more time and your show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Okay,
Jen.
guys, I'm going to pop another song on. This is Black and Gold by Sam Sparrow. You're listening to Hutt Radio. My name is Jenny, and this is the Joy Temple.
Very nice.
Yes. Thank you, Jen.
There we
Jen,
go.
I really appreciate.
My pleasure. Hang on, let me make sure my song's on. There we go. There we go. Thank you.
so much.
Thanks. I'll see you out. I've got my other guests waiting
Yes.
outside to come in. Busy morning today.
Thank you, Jen.
Oh, no worries. Well done you time.
Thank
That's a
you.
big, it's a big thing to overcome.
Yeah. I'm sure lots of people will be helped.
And to have the support of people to actually help you is amazing. Thank you. Okay, lovely. Well, we'll get her a chair. Come on in. So then I'll get you to sit in that very corner there. You can grab that chair or this chair, whichever you like.
Yeah.
Excited to be here. I'm so excited to have you on the show today.
Oh, thank you. How's this morning been?
Well, it's been, I just had some unexpected guests promoting a religious event. So So that was that was this morning, but it's good. We're live on record everything, so we're live on Facebook. I don't have that many followers, but that's fine. But I've got enough that I can go live, which means I can record everything, which is fantastic. So I'm just going to play a couple of songs, and we'll just have a talk through what we're going to do. I'm just going to take a breath. Sorry, I forgot your name.
I'm Ellen.
Ellen.
Yeah.
Okay, Ellen and Avin. Beautiful. And your mum's coming. That's
Yeah.
lovely.
You might just have to call, text her or call her if she comes.
Yes, you'll be able to just jump out and let her in. Sorry, you haven't been on the radio, you said?
No. Yeah, I did a podcast last night with someone,
Cool.
but yeah, no, not the radio.
Cool. So I'm going to get you to just move over a bit more into the corner so we can see you really clearly. Our microphones just need to be quite close to us, and they, you can sit back and put the microphone anywhere near you. We've kind of gone through a bit of a plan of what we're going to talk about today, which is really nice. Gee, these chairs are squeaky in here, aren't they?
I might hear it through
I
my...
might bring some WD-40 in and get them sorted. And we've just talked about, we're going to talk about yourself, Girlboss, your award, how you came up with the idea, how you got nominated, what you remember about coming to New Zealand, play some of your songs, and you can just kind of take the floor and talk about whatever you like.
Oh, you're lucky I love talking.
You should come and do a radio show.
You might have to just...
Yeah, I'll shut you down, don't you worry. We might just play another song while we're waiting. You got any questions?
No, actually. You should be fine. Oh. Oh, is that my mum?
Hi!
Hi, how are you?
Come on in, I'm Jen. Nice to meet you. Sorry, I've got watery
That's
hands
okay,
now
I'm Pfizer.
from my drink. So,
Nice to meet you. Pfizer.
Pfizer, lovely. Come on in and take a seat.
Can we sit here?
You can sit there, yeah. I'm gonna shut the door.
Wow, live audience.
Yeah, I know, right? You bought your fan club. So we probably we'll kick off around 9:30 or so, and yeah, things just kind of flow. It's all organic here. I don't really script anything. And do you want to come on air today and tell us how proud you are of your daughter?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm just... Mom's the behind the scenes mom.
Oh, you must be very proud though, because I think I was briefly mentioned to Avin that my husband's Indian, and he came to live here back in the year 2000, and for him the challenges is as a non-English speaker as a first language, all of that stuff has been really hard. But I imagine your story is very different as well, and especially for you coming here and not speaking any English?
A little bit,
Little
yeah.
bit.
We studied English at high school, so
Yeah.
we're here to do our PhD, so...
You came here to do your PhD.
Yeah.
Okay, so you immigrated, so you didn't come as refugees, you immigrated.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
But she works with the refugees. And
Yeah,
all.
I know. It's
Yeah.
amazing. It's amazing.
Can relate with them.
Yeah. Now phones on silent would be great. What else have you got planned for today?
Super busy day of study.
Oh, yeah.
My exams start on Tuesday, so I've just been doing like 12-hour days at the library.
Oh my goodness.
Can I take a few photos?
Of course, please take photos. We're live streaming because this is a really great way to record everything that kind of happens, and then I pop it up on YouTube. Let that song keep going. So you picked some interesting songs to play today.
Oh yeah, some fun songs.
I was like, oh, these are like cool songs. Who was your podcast for?
The Knowledge Basket.
Oh, I don't know who they are.
Yeah, it's by Prajesh and Tana. Yeah.
No idea. All right. I reckon we'll be good to go in a second. Welcome back to the Joy Temple, everybody. Happy Saturday. That was Purple Disco Machine, one of my favourite DJs, and that song was called Honey Boy. And before that, we had Sam Sparrow, Black and Gold. So it's busy morning here in the studio, and I've just been joined by my next guest, and we're going to get straight into it today because we're going to have a lot to talk about. Good morning. My guest today is Avin Khajehzadeh, and Avin is a 17-year-old student at Queen Margaret College, and she recently won the Girlboss New Zealand Inclusion Award for her work helping with health change for refugee mums through her consultation work with Te Whatu Ora. So good morning, Avin. I hope I got all that right.
Good morning, Jen. Thank you so much for having me.
So I really appreciate you coming in today because not only have you been doing the circuit of TV and you're just mentioning podcasts, other stuff, you are head into the books at the moment studying for your exams. Is this
knee
your
deep in exam season.
only knee deep, not like thigh deep or
Next
waist
week.
deep. Next week will be thigh deep. So this is your last year of high school, is that?
Yes,
right?
so I'm actually doing the International Baccalaureate. So I'm in my final year. It's a 2-year course. I'm in the second year now, so all my work the past 2 years kind of falls on the next 3 weeks, but no pressure.
No pressure. No pressure on you. I'm feeling a sweat up just thinking about it because I wasn't sure how much I would kind of share of my schooling time on the radio today, but I think we need to hear the sides of everybody's story, and I was not an academic person at all at school. I hated school, and I know my mum's, she won't be listening, she's getting fruit and veggies at the market. I probably wagged school more than I went to school. I just was not academic at all. I never enjoyed one moment of school. But what I have discovered is that I love life and I love the school of life, and everything I have learned has come through experiences outside of the books. And so I think for people who follow different pathways, we will always get to our higher self at some point in life. So I'm feeling like amazed that you are doing what you're doing and just about to finish off your schooling year. Now, you recently won the Girlboss Inclusion Award at, was it sponsored by PwC or something like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
So they sponsored the award, and we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about your life here in New Zealand. You came to New Zealand when you were 6 years old with your parents, and obviously as somebody who doesn't have English with a first language, it can be very challenging for the whole family dynamic. So we'll be talking about that today, along with other things that you might be doing. You run yoga classes, correct, for refugee mums, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of other things that will come up this morning as well. And then once we're done, you can get back to your study.
It can wait.
It can wait. So, Avin, again, welcome. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you have made it in, like what you did that got you to the studio today in terms of doing this remarkable work with Te Whatu Ora that has landed you this incredible award, and then we'll talk about Girlboss.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been always really passionate about service. Service has been my thing. I am service prefect at school, and it's just something that I've always loved doing. I've always loved volunteering. I've been doing it since I started high school, all around the community. And I guess when it came to, when I was in year 11, I moved schools, and I had a huge culture shock. I mean, I went from a school where everyone around me was a different ethnicity, they had a different upbringing, whether it was coming to New Zealand at a different time or moving from a different city. It was everyone had a different experience, and we all brought different perspectives to the table. But once I moved to Queen Margaret, it was a lot less diverse for me. My friends were a little bit, I mean, they were understanding, but they didn't share the same experiences as me. They didn't share the same, I guess, perspective on life because of their lived experiences. I guess all the empathy that I experienced was just empathy. It was just an attempt to understand, but not through their own lived experiences, which you can't fault someone at that.
Yeah,
but
they don't know.
Exactly. And it was a different, I guess, experience for me, which was very valuable. And I mean, it's led me to all the places and all the accomplishments that I've made today and all the work that I've done. But it was a huge milestone for me in my journey, because I just remember seeing a huge change in my own personality, and just seeing me kind of go back to year 2 of Avin, moving to New Zealand, and kind of having a huge culture shock and being like, wow, these people like don't know what I experience at home, they don't know what I experience coming here, so I wanted to bring a bit of my culture and a bit of my experience and try kind of make it a little bit more multicultural. So I reached out to Changemakers Resettlement Forum. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them, but they're kind of a refugee NGO, and they do amazing work in the community. I mean, they set up some amazing initiatives. They do football tournaments, health kind of workshops, and connecting healthcare workers with the community. They do amazing stuff. And I remember reaching out to them and I said, hey, look, we've got amazing resources at our school. We've got spaces for it. We've got the materials and the people who want to get involved and help out. And you guys are doing amazing work. So let's see what we can do together. Let's amplify the amazing work that you guys do with our resources. And we worked together to create some amazing initiatives, and I quickly got really involved in their work, and I just loved it. And I branched away and I said, hey, I want to do I can't even remember what I set up, but I was like, I want to do my own thing. I want to set up a new initiative. This is my idea. Let's make it happen. And I mean, they were so supportive. They said, okay, let's do it. They brainstormed with me. We made it happen. And when the day came, it was so unsuccessful. It was no one came, and we kind of looked around and we were like, why is there no one here? Like, what is it that we went out of our way to set this initiative up? We went through all this work and kind of brainstorming and getting funding for it, but the community isn't here to use this resource. And I mean, I spent ages reflecting on it. It was a hard thing for me to accept, because I was like, well, I'm doing something out of my way here for you guys,
and that sense of failure.
Yeah.
The sense of failure is awful when you pour your heart and soul into something and you see nothing come back from it. It is very discouraging, and it is very easy for people to go, well, stuff it, I'm not going to do anything more. But you soldiered on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it was a huge milestone, because I was like, the reason that this was unsuccessful was because the community didn't ask for this. I decided that this is something I want to do, and I made it happen, and I expected a thank you. And I saw my own vision, I made my own vision come to life, and I just sat there expecting gratitude and people just to be on their hands and knees, thank you so much for being my sister. Like, but that's not the reality of it. No one asked me to do that for them. And it just, I was having a chat with my friend, and I was like it's like, okay, well, yeah, that didn't work, but I have these ideas now, and I'm gonna make these happen. And she was like, okay, Avin, just take a second. Are you even listening to the community that you're trying to serve? Is this coming from their voice? Are you trying to create change with your own ideas and your own inspiration? Or is it from the community voice? Is your change centered around the voices of the people that are going to be impacted by the outcome of your initiative? And I was like, no, I haven't even talked to anyone about this.
Yeah, and you know, this is a whole other topic in itself around people's creativity and desire to follow their heart and follow their path, but also find the people who need what it is you have to offer. And I've had my own struggles with that, you know, over time. And it is incredibly frustrating. And you do have to stop and go, actually, pull your head in a bit. And, yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
take a
And-
breath and think about what you actually need to do. And you
Yeah.
can do.
And I think that moment really showed me the value of just community engagement.
Mm.
Whatever you're doing, whatever initiative you're making, try work with the community to do it. And so I set up a refugee community well-being engagement event. And so we invited everyone that was kind of on the Changemakers contact list, and we said, come along, we've got pizza, we've got a venue, just come and chat. That's all we're going to do, we're just going to talk. And I had these posters set up around the room of kind of prompts, and it was all these different questions regarding well-being in New Zealand, the healthcare system and their experience moving here and how they've been treated in the well-being space and kind of culturally but also just actually medically. And the feedback that we got was shocking. It was horrifying, and that was like my initial reaction reading that. And I just, because throughout the event I was like, I'm not going to look at this because I don't want my conversations to be completely led by this. And I want it to be raw, and I want it just to see where they want to take me in these conversations. So I walked around the room, I talked to all these people about these different experiences and their different ideas and what they think they needed. And then I read their written thoughts, and it was scary. It was scary to see that I hadn't experienced some of these because I grew up here, but everywhere around the world and even in New Zealand people are experiencing these, and it's not just stories, it's actually people's experiences. And a lot of the time people, I mean, when they're talking about these things, they say, oh yeah, you hear these horrifying stories, or yeah, I heard these horrifying stories, but I think sometimes what people forget to mention is that behind all these horrifying stories is someone's actual experience.
Real people, yeah.
Someone actually was in that moment, someone experienced the feelings that they experienced, and it was so impactful that they felt the need to write about it, and they felt the need to tell someone about it.
Yeah. So you were focused on wellness, and overall wellness, right? Because wellness encapsulates a lot of different things.
Exactly.
But what you were hearing was that there was much more beyond wellness that people were needing. Can you share some of those things that people were struggling with, and were they common kind of themes for people? Like, were they unique, or were they, most people are feeling similar kind of things?
It was across the board, just the exact same things we'd see. I mean, everyone experiences migration differently, right? And that's something you can't deny. Whether you move from a different city or a different continent or just even a different suburb, you're going to experience migration differently. Whether you come with kids or just a spouse or even alone, it's going to be so different. And even then, the experiences and the struggles they had in the healthcare space was the exact same. You just saw across the board, they didn't feel listened to, doctors didn't even bother to get an interpreter, or they didn't have access to it. They just felt like an inconvenience every time they asked for help for anything. And the other thing was, people just didn't understand their journey. And I mean, I heard this amazing quote a while ago, and it was from a refugee woman, and she does a lot of amazing work in this space, and she said, my story is valuable, there's no denying that. Storytelling is valuable, people need to hear different stories to gain a different experience, but there is so much power in having a seat at the table.
Yeah.
So they don't just need to tell their story, but they actually need a seat at the table.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted to give them. So I reached out to Te Whatu Ora and I said, hey, we did this event. What it showed me is that healthcare workers aren't properly trained to work with refugee communities. So what are you guys doing about that? Like, what is the step that you guys are taking, because this is your job, not mine? And they said, look, we've got these courses, these got modules, and they get ran all across the country from students and healthcare workers at all the different stages of their careers, and they're training them to work with different kind of communities. And then we've got refugee ones, we've got migrant ones, we've got all these different kind of ones. And I said, okay, so why are they not working?
Yeah.
And we had this conversation about it, and they just gave, I mean, they were trying to convince me that it was, but the first couple of things they said is,
Well, obviously it's not. If people are struggling, it's not working.
it was designed 13 years ago, and it hadn't been touched since. it was designed by someone who was not even from the community. And those two alone, I just looked at them and I said, so are we still confused why they're not working then? Or have we reached a conclusion now? Because it was pretty obvious why they're not working. If you haven't even touched these courses in over a decade,
Yeah. How relevant are they?
their experiences are completely different. They're completely different a week ago to they are today, let alone a decade ago. So they invited me to come on their team and work as an advisor for the redesign process. And they said, okay, let's redesign the refugee one to begin with. And I said, okay. So what we did.
How far up the chain in Te Whatu Ora did you have to go until you actually heard? Because you're talking about hearing people, right? So you wanted to be heard. So how hard was it for you to be heard?
I mean, I feel like it was a different experience, especially as a young girl, because what I heard a lot every time that I even attempted to just contact them, they said, look, this already exists, thanks for contacting us, if you've got any other questions, feel free to send them through. And I said, okay, well, yeah, I just asked a question, I want to talk to someone.
I've got
about
another
it.
question,
Yeah.
and another question.
And I want to talk to someone about it. And I mean, it took months. I spent months emailing all these different people and contact lists on their website, and it was so difficult. And I mean, eventually someone was like, what you're saying, it sounds cool, okay, that sounds interesting. Let me just forward you on to the team lead at the eCloud courses. And the team lead talked to me, and she was wonderful, and she answered all my questions, and she walked me through all the different modules they had, and then she was the one who was like, I want to introduce you to the person who runs the refugee one, and I want you to help her redesign it.
Wow.
And I said, thanks, like that's, yeah, finally. That's
really
exactly
cool.
what we've just been waiting for. And what I wanted to do, and what I kind of, was like the one thing that I wanted to achieve out of being in that team, was this course is not being redesigned with my thoughts. It's not being redesigned with my advice or my ideas. The whole purpose that I'm here is to bring the community, is to amplify the community voices. That's the only reason. I'm just a channel. They've said that this is what they want to see, and I just acted as a channel to get that happen for them. And so what we did is we went across the country, so North Island and South Island, and we ran these engagement events for the community. And we ran the modules for them, and we got feedback on it, and we said, this is what we're running for healthcare workers now. This is exactly how the courses exist. What do you guys think of this? Is this how you want to be portrayed? Is this how your journey, is this how it actually is? And the biggest thing we heard was, no. You guys are telling healthcare workers that if they don't give us the treatment that we deserve, that we can just go to our support workers that we're assigned upon arrival and ask them for help, or if we don't understand something, we go to them and they're able to do anything. But in reality, they cut contact with us after 2 weeks. I haven't heard from mine from 6 months, one of them said to me.
So people are just on their own. Yeah.
So why are healthcare workers not told this? Because we're sitting here and our high horse is blaming them and saying, you guys are paid but you're not doing your jobs, you're not giving them the proper treatment they deserve, but they're not even given the right information.
Yeah, there has to be that connect, right, across all parties for everybody to have success.
Exactly. If there's no conversations happening between healthcare workers and the community, how are they going to know what's working and what's not?
Yeah.
Because a lot of the time, it's not like they're lazy and they're like, oh, I actually can't be bothered getting an interpreter. It's that they don't have access
Don't
to
know
it.
how. Yeah.
It's not accessible, or it takes too long. It's just not made convenient for people.
And I know when I've been to India, like as I said, my husband's Indian, and when I've been to India, like not everybody speaks English there, and so I'm the person who's like, oh, how do I get help? How do I have my voice heard? Like if I need any assistance, even if it's something as simple as buying an orange juice at the local shop, you know, that can be challenging, let alone trying to navigate the medical system in another country.
Yeah, exactly.
Without understanding the language.
And that, I mean, I went away to Nepal over last summer, and I did a 2-week medical internship there with one of my friends, and I mean, a big portion of our trip was just medical shadowing, and that was amazing on its own, but the other portion of our trip was community outreach. So we spent a whole day planning these kind of lessons for kindergarteners, and we obviously expected some kind of language barrier. We knew that basically all we could say is hi, hello, my name is, and that was not going to be enough to teach them how to wash their hands and brush their teeth.
Yeah.
So we just drew all these cue cards of apples and the different steps to hand washing, and we took it to the kindergarten the next day. And it was a disaster. I mean, we couldn't communicate. Even with the picture, we couldn't.
Yeah.
And I remember everyone struggling so much because these kids just stared at us and they just looked at us like we were insane. And we are just like,
Yeah.
apple.
Yeah.
And they're just
They don't
I don't
understand.
know what you're trying to say to me right now. And it was so funny because it was just exactly the language barrier that
Yeah.
so
And frustrating for you, you know, trying to get your message across, and frustrating for them trying to understand the message. So yeah, language is beautiful, but also difficult, you know, if you're put in a challenging situation.
Exactly. But we were put in that situation, and we had to come up with a solution. We couldn't just walk away. Our job in that scenario was to teach them how to wash their hands properly and how to brush their teeth properly, and that's what we came there to do, and that's what we had to do. So I tapped into some of my childhood games, and we tweaked them to be appropriate to the situation. So we sat the kids in a circle, and we played Duck, Duck, Goose, but soap, wash.
Ah, nice.
And we did Baby Shark, but with hand washing, and all these different childhood games, but we changed them so that they understood the language because they knew these songs. They grew up with these songs just like we did.
Yeah.
And we changed it so it was a topic that we were still doing our jobs. We were still giving the message that we wanted to give. And it was really interesting to see how well they responded to that. And it wasn't difficult at all. All we had to do was just change our approach, and it doesn't, verbal communication is not the only way to get a message across.
Yeah, find
And-
a way.
Exactly, and we didn't, I mean, at least for us, we didn't see doing that as going above and beyond for the kids. That was just our job. That was the bare minimum that we could have done. We went there, we're in their space, we're telling them that we want to help you, and the bare minimum that we could do is provide them with that support. And so we did it. We found a way. We faced a huge problem. I mean, we couldn't say anything. They couldn't understand anything. But we found a solution, and we did what we had to do. And so why can't other people do that in every other situation?
That's a big question. I think, you know, sometimes people don't know how. They don't want to. They can't be bothered. There's various reasons why people don't commit to.
And it's a
doing
mental block
stuff.
as well,
Yeah.
because, I mean, we've kind of created this idea that doing that is going above and beyond for people. It's going the extra mile. It's being a phenomenal healthcare worker or a phenomenal support worker by taking that extra step. But in reality, it's actually just the bare minimum.
Yeah.
It's just what you're supposed to be doing for people, because you're really not doing that much extra.
But when you do that little bit extra, doesn't it feel good? Like you just feel like, oh, I know, I love going above and beyond because it makes me feel good, right? And that's important.
And it improves
as well.
outcomes. I mean, you see across the board. I mean, I'm at least talking about the healthcare field. It improves outcomes because when you find a way to communicate in these communities, informed consent. They understand what's happening and they gain trust in you. And overall, if they know how to take care of them post-op and pre-op, health outcomes are improved across the nation.
Yeah. And a consistent approach is really important. Like I think with anything we do in life, if there's consistency, you start to believe that it's going to work as well. So once one person sees something working well and that's consistent, then for the next person and the next person, it has an incredible knock-on effect, which is really cool. Would you like to play a song?
Yeah.
You've sent in quite a few songs this morning, and we'll come back and talk a bit about the award next. But you've picked, I think, 7 songs you sent me, which I love, so there's plenty to choose from. Did you have one that you would like to kick off with?
Yes.
A little musical interlude?
Let's do Red Red Wine that's a really special song that we played in Nepal all the time.
Uh-huh.
So just thought.
And it's
a
such
good
an
connection.
old classic song as well. So this is UB40, Red Red Wine. You're listening to the Joy Temple on Hutt Radio. I'm with Avin Khajehzadeh, and we are talking about her life and her recent Girlboss Inclusion Award that she just won. We'll be back after this song. There we go. Now, I think I saw my mum walking around. She was my mum's 85. She's just come for a visit last week, and she was over at the fruit market. I saw her wandering. She'll come back, I'm sure. So you got your photo, getting your photos
Yeah.
sorted. Good, good, good. Have you always lived in Wellington?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Was it was your choice to come to Wellington when you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. It's beautiful except for the weather.
And we lived in Newtown.
Uh-huh.
We loved it. It's a really lovely community. out
Yeah.
there. It's really so beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah. It's very nice. Yeah.
We were living in the city when we came here, and I really miss the city because I just love the energy of the city. Just excites and ignites me. So it's different living out in the burbs now.
No, yeah. And Newtown has such a multicultural living community. It's just like people are from everywhere.
Yeah, and it's
of the
beautiful,
world,
isn't
yeah.
it? It's beautiful to watch and to listen and to just connect with the different food and it's really lovely. How many exams have you got?
I've got 16 papers,
Oh my goodness.
but I think it's only 12 exams.
Only.
Only.
Only 12 exams. Oh. Amazing. Amazing to do what you're doing, as well as your schoolwork, as well as being a teenager, getting on with life.
Yeah, it's been hard this year, especially with like school.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a different kind of it's like an internal confliction because I want to put all my energy into the work that I do, and I want to make it bigger and kind of more impactful.
Yeah, but you've got to balance. Yeah.
I gotta finish school.
Must have been amazing to go to Nepal too.
It was so cool, so cool.
All right, we're going to go back on air. I think that song's finished. Welcome back to the Joy Temple. My name is Janie. You're listening to Hutt Radio. I just want to give a little shout out to our sponsors who keep us on air. Thank you to Neko Neru Cat Cafe, to Kiwi Cafe, Cutler's Bar, and to Cafe Salau, or should I say Salau Tapas. They are having a special Halloween menu running up, I think, till the end of this month. So come and check out their Halloween themed food in the Tapas Bar right here on 215 High Street in Lower Hutt. Now, I'm here with Avin Khajehzadeh. We're talking about her Girlboss Inclusion Award that she recently won, amongst other cool things that she does. Would you like to tell us about the award, or would you like to tell us a little bit about your life coming to New Zealand at 6 and how that has kind of shaped you and led you to doing what you're doing? Maybe we'll start there. Tell us about that.
So my family and I moved here in 2013 when I was 6. And
Where did you come from?
we came from Iran.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so we came as my parents, my brother and I. And we've been living in Wellington my whole life, and we first moved into Newtown. And I think going into Newtown straight as like a new immigrant was actually really a real privilege. A lot of people, I guess, don't get to experience immigration like we did because we were surrounded by people with such similar experiences to us and such empathy and compassion for what we have been going through and are going through at the moment. But I mean, I spoke no English.
Mm-hmm.
It was such a huge culture shock. I don't even know when I became fluent, but it just happened so quickly.
I don't know when I became fluent in English either, and there's words I'm still learning out there, so it's a never-ending learning with English.
Yeah, exactly. I just remember going to school and now I can speak English and that's all I can know. But I mean, it was really cool. It was a new experience, and I mean, in all the different ways, we had to completely build a new identity. I mean, build new passions, and I mean, my parents had to rebuild their whole career, but it was also about who we are as a person, because who we were in Iran as a family and as individual people was completely different to who we are now. And I mean, a little bit of that is to do with language and culture. I mean, I still feel like I'm such a different person when I'm speaking Farsi to when I'm speaking English. Like, I feel personally that my personality completely changes when I'm at home with my family talking Farsi and when I'm at school with my friends talking English. But yeah, it was really scary, and I mean, I can't really remember a lot of it because I was so young.
Yeah, because at 6, life is kind of like, the world is big, right? And you're like looking at it from this lens of down here and looking upwards and outwards, and that is kind of scary. But to also have, your parents who perhaps have limited English, limited knowledge of the country, also trying to navigate their own way, and, to be settled ourselves. As an adult, to become settled is really sometimes hard.
I guess the coolest part of moving here as a family was that we got to do that together.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess usually the normal way, the stereotypical way is that your parents are settled, they have you, they watch you, and they give you all the resources and all the space to kind of grow, just explore your identity, become the person that you are, and they let you flourish, right? But the coolest part about migration was that we got to do that all together. And we came here, I mean, we all had personalities, we all had an identity, but we got to build that from scratch together, and we got to learn the different foods that we liked together. We learnt the new music that we liked, different cultural things that we liked, all these different new experiences, sports. We got to learn all these new things about ourselves together. And I guess a lot of people don't get to experience that because by the time they're born, their parents would have learned all that stuff about themselves.
Yeah.
But it was a really cool experience because we got to do a little bit of that growing up and a little bit of that language learning together.
Yeah. It's like, when you go on a holiday and you do land in another country on a holiday and you go out and explore and experience, and it's all very exciting, and there's that element of that, but there's also that element of like, this is life now and we have to navigate the banks, the schools, all of this stuff, because that little bit of element of fun can sometimes be taken away. And, coming to New Zealand, like, you didn't speak English, but your parents spoke some English. So for them, being able to navigate the language is helpful, but then you're helping people now who don't navigate the language and can't navigate the language, and what a struggle that must be for people.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like in all different facets, I guess. It's like in the healthcare environment that I'm doing now, being able to explain your symptoms, but in trying to explore the different options for schooling and public transport and, like you said, banking, like all that stuff is so different in New Zealand, and trying to explore all of that while navigating the emotional roller coaster that you're on for years, and I mean sometimes people for a lifetime, is so difficult. And I guess the work that I'm really passionate about doing is kind of alleviating some of that, and first of all creating spaces where people are surrounded by others that are also going through that at the same time as them. They understand that they've gone either just through it or they are actively going through it with them, so they feel a little bit less alone. And the other thing is just providing them with access to the right resources, because there's so much resources out there, right? There's, I mean, a variety of different things they can access, how-to guides, starter packs, everything. And I mean, there's no one short of help.
Yeah.
And there's
But you just got to be put in touch with it and have it. And, you know, it's one thing to come to a country by choice, but it's a whole different thing to come to a different country because you are forced to perhaps flee where you are living and have no choice but to leave people behind, you know, leave loved ones behind and have to start again. And I had a lady recently on the show who was in a similar situation. I think she was 6 when her family, I think they were in Uganda, and they had to leave Uganda and go to England. And she said the same thing, you know, you pack a suitcase and you go. So there's not only this going to a whole new world, it's what can I take with me? How am I going to cope? And the fear that comes with that is incredible. And it's so great that you are doing work to help people, you know, succeed and have a chance. You know, we all deserve a chance. It's wonderful.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So life for you in New Zealand has been lovely. What do you love about Wellington?
My community, the people that I've, like the network and the people that I've built around me for sure. I mean, it's a beautiful city, but yeah, definitely the people.
Yeah, it is a beautiful city. And I'd never lived in Wellington. I'd never even been to New Zealand. And I come from Australia, just 3 hours away. And when my husband said, let's move to New Zealand, I'm like, yeah, all right, we'll go to New Zealand. And we were in India at the time. And even coming to New Zealand, we got here just before the pandemic. We were here just days before they shut the borders. So for us to arrive in a new country with no banking access, nowhere to live, no job, that was uncertainty for us. And, you know, we come from a privileged world where we've had everything at our fingertips and could access resources with our ability and knowledge. But that was a really challenging time for us, you know, 4 years ago when that happened. So you're very well settled here. You're about to finish high school. You've just won this amazing award. Please tell us about Girlboss and the award that you have just received.
Yeah, absolutely. So Girlboss is just a network of young women, and it's kind of a way to empower them in fields of STEM. So Alexia has set this kind of huge company up, and I mean the work that she does and her as a person, she's just so inspirational. And I mean all these young girls are now looking up to her. It's just the best thing ever. And so she runs these like workshops and kind of events, and they're like usually week-long events, and they're kind of centered around fields in STEM. So I've done a couple. I've done some of the tech ones and the medicine one, and there's heaps in finance and business and investing, and she just does these amazing courses for young girls just to get them inspired, but also to make them feel like they're actually capable. So at the end of all her courses, she runs a challenge, and everyone who partakes in the course has to partake in the challenge. And it's innovative, it's creative, and you come up with your own solution to your own problem that you're recognizing. And it's amazing because it just makes all these young girls feel like they actually are capable of it, and it's not just like big older people that have a degree and have 20, 30 years of life experience coming up with this change, but it's actually us at the grassroots levels making these changes as well. And that's what her awards celebrate. The Girlboss Awards are a national award, and there's 12 of them, and they run across all these different sectors of tech, sport, emerging leaders, inclusion, leadership, just to name a few. And
I want you to name all 12. No, I don't.
And she selects these young girls aged between 14 and 18 making change in the field. And I mean, it's amazing. The girls that I met just in my cohort were phenomenal. We had one of them who was the youngest female firefighter in her region.
Wow. Another
one who set up a skateboarding business to get young girls with skateboards and to make them feel like they can. She runs these workshops for them. And another one who did an actual scientific research paper on the importance of sleep for teenagers. another young girl who runs a podcast on young women scientists. And I mean, it's amazing to be connected with a network of these girls and to hear their stories, but most importantly, it gives them a platform to share their story. And I mean, take me for example. Alexia selecting me for this award has landed me on this podcast, and I was on the breakfast with her, and just that alone brings attention to the work I did, and it shows that people actually care. And now other companies that I approach, and I'm like, hey, I want to make a change here, or this is something that I don't agree with and I want to do something about it, they are so much more accepting to that now.
Yeah, you've got that behind you.
Exactly. And it's not just me, it's all these other young girls, because me having done that with Te Whatu Ora and getting some kind of public attention on it, it gives them some kind of like, oh, that's not something weird that we did or something bad. That's actually good for us to do that, because people are saying that her doing this actually brings some community voice, and now these courses are somewhat more community focused.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of one example. I mean, we've got 12 other examples of how these awards have created a platform for us young girls to be able to share our story and our passions, and not only inspire other young girls, but huge companies and organisations and NGOs
They're taking notice.
Yeah, to be a part of the change.
Yeah. Can we just talk a little bit about being a young woman? As I mentioned, my high school years weren't great. I didn't love school. I didn't feel there was anything, I'm talking back in the 80s, a long last century, long time ago. There wasn't really much. I lived in a small town. There wasn't much to keep young women motivated or, bless you over there. We've got some sneezes in the studio. You okay?
Yeah,
all
I'm
good?
fine.
Okay. There wasn't much to keep young women motivated or form direction, and I look at what young women are going through now, and I'm a lover and hater of social media, because I believe it has the power to do so much good, but it also does so much damage. And you see the impact it's having on young women's, well, not only young women, everybody's well-being. But is Girlboss a place where anyone can join and take part and become part of a wider community to help them grow and develop and form some kind of direction? Is that what it can help with?
Exactly. It's exactly just you said. I couldn't say it any better. It's exactly that, and even more. Like, I mean, Alexia provides these young girls with the connections, the network, and not just other young girls, but huge companies and mentors. In the healthcare module that I did, she connected me with this young healthcare worker, and she was just a couple years older than I was, like a few years ahead in her career. And I mean, she was so kind, and she was like, I told her all these ideas and all the stuff that I want to do, and she just, go do it.
Yeah.
You've got a community of girls behind you, and I guess that's what the cool thing about Girlboss is, that whatever you do, you've got a whole community of women behind you, supporting you, and making sure that your visions come to life and all your dreams come true, and are there to celebrate it with you when they do.
So you're, not only showing leadership, you're being innovative, inspiring other young women to want to take that leap into being more, doing more, and I think that's really powerful. And I'm 58 now, and I feel like in the last 10 years I've reached my stride in life. Okay, it didn't happen for me when I was 17, and you're right in the stride of life, and the only way is up for you, right? You've got so much going for you. And I think it's a really important message for people to know that regardless of whether you're 17 or 70, we still have value, we still have things that we can contribute, and ways out there to help us reach those goals and dreams. And I think it's amazing that Girlboss is giving that opportunity to do that. I want a lady boss, I think. I'd like to have a lady boss group where I can be part of that, because it's really important that we have that space to go, this is a space where I can go and I can be me, and I can be encouraged to shine and show leadership and help other people as well. And I can see that that's what's coming out of all of this. Yeah.
And everyone deserves to have that. I mean, it's amazing that we've got that for young women, but every woman deserves to have that.
Absolutely.
And it's like it's such a privilege to be a part of that community, and I feel like I want to share that with everyone.
Yeah.
Like I think it's something that everyone should experience at one point in their lives.
Beautiful. So let's talk about the actual award. So you received the award. How many other nominees were in that category for the award, or was there others?
So for the whole awards, we had 582, I believe,
Across the
applicants.
Uh-huh. 12 categories?
Correct, yeah. And then we had 12 winners selected. And so the way that they are selected is that the company that's sponsoring the awards gets a short list of applicants that Alexia selects, and then they choose between that short list. But the way you can be nominated is that you can either self-nominate or someone can nominate you. So if you see someone in the community or you know someone that is just doing all this amazing work and they're super humble about it, they don't want any recognition, you can always nominate.
So you don't have to be you don't have to be part of Girlboss to be nominated?
No.
Uh-huh.
So
Okay,
anyone
that's-
can be
that's
nominated
cool.
for this award, and then you automatically become part of the Girlboss
Uh-huh.
community.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you received the award. How did you know that you had won the award? Like, what happened? Did you know beforehand, or was it as kind of surprise before it was all announced? Were you?
Yeah, so it's actually funny because that was, I think, my second or third year applying for the awards.
Uh-huh.
So that was really funny in my journey because I didn't know whether I was going to get it or not. I had no idea. And then I got the email, I think it was early September. I got the email, I've been selected as a winner, and later that month my mum and I flew to Auckland for the awards ceremony, and all 12 of us were in the same hotel, and we had the award, like the ceremony together. And
In the Girlboss Hotel.
and it was such a beautiful event. And
Nice.
so the actual night wasn't a surprise, but getting the award and getting the email and everything was such a huge shock. And
Yeah.
no one really knows if it's coming or not, but when it does, it's a pretty good feeling.
And so what was the prize that you won for this incredible achievement?
So PwC sponsored my award with a $1,000 cash grant, and as well as we got some media coverage, and that was part of kind of the award and the recognition, and obviously being in Auckland and going to the awards ceremony and getting our certificate. So
Yeah, beautiful. And what will the grant enable you to do?
So go to university.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm using my grant money for. I know a couple of the girls who are using it to support their initiatives, because they run some environmental work, and that's what they're using some of it for. But I'm using it for my university next year.
And what will university be for you? What are you planning on studying, and will you stay here in Wellington, do you think, for uni?
So I'll be going to Auckland next year, and I'll be doing my Bachelor of Science to go into medicine.
Fantastic. How cool is that? Well done, you. I think it's a beautiful story of, you know, what you have done, what you've been recognised for, and I think we should play another song and come and talk about other things you are doing in the community, and, you know, what's next? What's next for you? What song would you like to play now?
Take your pick, any's good.
Which one, sorry?
Any of them.
Any of them. Let's pick Frank Ocean Lost. It's at the top of the list. Tell us about this song.
This song was actually, my best friend chose it, and I said, let's do a testament to you on the show.
Okay, so this is for your best friend.
Best friend.
Beautiful. Okay, how you going?
Good.
Yeah? I don't need to be feeling overwhelmed or like we're not covering off things that you want to share with people today.
Should it?
I've got a little gift for you too.
Oh my
There you
gosh.
go. That's, I do dot art mandala, so that's a beautiful journal for you to take home and use for your
Oh my gosh,
precious
that's so
notes.
gorgeous. How did you learn how to do this?
Oh, self-taught. Yeah, self-taught.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is beautiful. It's one of the things I do. I teach mandala, teach women how to do mandala, and do it myself because it's such a therapeutic, relaxing art form. It's amazing. And a lot of people who go, I can't ever do art, will come to a class and they'll create something and they'll be like, wow. So,
Yeah, this is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
and you know what? It just feels nice. Like you just kind of like.
yeah, I
It's
just
got this nice kind of
Yeah.
texture to it.
Oh my gosh, wow. That is so stunning.
That's for you. Thank you for coming on my show today. Oh, do you guys need some water or anything?
I'm fine.
You're fine? You're all fine?
Getting a little salad right before exams.
It's gonna go away.
Yeah, sick as a mindset.
Yeah, this'll pass, this'll pass, this'll
Yeah.
pass. That's interesting, the whole mindset thing, right? Like what are you believing and filtering into your existence and manifesting?
Exactly. So if you just believe you're not sick, it will literally go
Yeah.
away. Your body's just rejecting it.
Tell it to go away. What happened to my mum? I saw her walk past once and she's gone.
825. 98.
Tell Taylor that we're playing this song.
Okay.
Is she coconut?
I think she's asleep.
What are you going to do when your exams are finished?
I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself. Sleep. Sleep, party nothing. Sleep, probably. Sleep and catch up on all the Netflix shows I've missed in the past 2 years.
What's on your list?
Oh, I'm gonna finish Prison Break. And what else? I don't even know. I don't even know what's come out while I've been in my hole.
In your hole, yeah.
Catch up with my friends.
Yeah.
We kind of just, all we talk about is cells and organs right now.
Cells and
Human cells.
cells and organs.
Human cells and organs. So,
Oh,
some real human conversations would be fun.
I love it. That's hilarious.
But I think Auckland will be good next year.
I've not been to Auckland, so yeah. I imagine it'll be lots of fun. The weather will be nice. All right, we're going to come back on air. Welcome back to the Joy Temple. My name is Janny. You're listening to Hutt Radio. It is 10:22 a.m. It's looking like it's finding up outside. It was a bit cloudy before, but we're heading for a beautiful day. I think a top of 20 degrees today, which will be amazing. I'm with Avin Khajehzadeh, and we are talking about her Girlboss Award that she recently won, plus other things that she's doing in her world that is very inspiring and exciting. Now, the Girlboss Awards have happened. You'll continue on as part of Girl. Did you get kicked out when you turned 18? I hope not.
I don't think so. No, she keeps bringing them back as mentors
Yeah,
for next year.
lovely.
So, yeah, we get recycled.
I love it. Because you said there was an alumni, is that correct?
Yes, yeah.
And what happens with the alumni group? You don't know.
We'll find out
You'll
next
find
year.
out.
But what I see is that they come back as mentors for the younger
Yeah.
girls in the courses, and I mean they stay in touch and they come to some of the events even. Yeah. So.
I actually do mentoring, and I love mentoring because it's such an opportunity to use real life experiences. And I am giving away a mentoring package. I'll be announcing that later on in the show. So stay tuned to hear about how you can win some mentoring with me. Did you have mentors help you on your journey through here, or do you feel like I'm somebody who's very motivated and action orientated, and I just kind of do stuff?
I'd say a mixture of both. I've always been quite an independent person growing up, and I've been never really told to do service or never told to kind of take action. I'm quite an action oriented person, like you said. I just kind of take lead on my own things, but I've been nothing short of support. I have an amazing mentor in the healthcare space, and she's taken me to work with her. I've seen all the amazing work that she does. But she's
Take your mentee to work, Dave.
exactly. And it was so fun.
Yeah.
But she also has shared with me so much of her own life experiences, but in the healthcare space, but as a young person growing up, but then also in the work that I do. So every time I have a question about the healthcare space, I go to her. So have you ever experienced this? Am I accurate for saying this?
Yeah.
And she's honest with me. She'll be like, no, like I don't know where you've gotten this from. It's actually not true. Like this is how it actually is. Or yeah, I've actually gone through with this before. And so she's been such a huge rock in my life. She's been so amazing. But of course I've had my parents who have supported me all the way through this, all through my crazy ideas and 2 a.m. Guys, I've got an idea.
Is that's for real what you'll do?
We're like night workers, so all my best ideas come to me at like 2, 3 a.m.
Oh my goodness,
But
that's amazing.
yeah, so they've supported me through everything that I do, and they've taken me to all these crazy events that I've ran, and just stood there just as a support person in case I need anything or any help when I'm running them. And just last month, so this year I was coordinating the Wellington Youth Charity Ball. So that was one of the other hats that I had on, and for the night of the ball I had my mum there, and she was supporting me, and so yeah, she's just kind of, they've had both the support role in my life and all the amazing work that I do.
Yeah, and that's beautiful. To have that support is really, really special. I was just going to talk about ideas, right? Because I read, who was the book? Elizabeth Gilbert, her book Making Magic. I can't kind of remember what the title was, but she talked about ideas, right? And how if we don't use our ideas, the universe will take them and give those ideas to other people. And and her example was that she started writing this book and she parked the book, and then sometime later came back to the book and caught up with her friend and discovered that her friend was writing a book on exactly the same thing, and the topic was very unusual. I think in books, Big Magic is her book, but it was like, if you don't get the ideas that you're given and put them to use, they'll be given to someone else. So how do you keep track of all these ideas, and how do you know what are the right ideas to follow?
Yeah, I mean, growing up I never thought I was someone who was creative. And I just remember telling my mum, and she was like, oh, because I was real into like painting when I was younger, and then kind of as I grew up, I grew out of it once I moved to New Zealand. And I just remember always saying, Mum, I'm not a creative person. I like math and I like science. I'm just going to stick to it. I'm not a creative person. Once I kind of entered the service space and started being really passionate about change and system change, that's when I saw my creativity come back. And I just had all these ideas, and I want to run a workshop like this, and I want to run a course like this, and I want to do this with the community, and I want to do this with this, and I just had all these ideas. And a lot of the times they used to be, okay, just slow down, just do one thing at once and see how that goes, and then go with the next thing. So I'm still learning. I think that's still a journey that I'm on, and just learning to choose the right ideas and what to do with all those ideas, because I've built a habit of getting overwhelmed with my ideas, because I get really passionate about a topic, and I come up with a billion ways to make it different and make it good, and I don't know which one to go with.
Yeah, that's a hard thing, isn't it?
It's definitely a journey I'm still on, but like you were saying, mentors have been huge for me in that kind of field of just being like, reaching out, what do you think of these? I don't know what to do with all this, and I have gone out to coffees with some of my mentors and been like, what do you think? What do you think? And, I mean, a lot of them actually do work in the space, and they've gone through this, and they're like a couple years older than me, like, oh yeah, like, okay, here's what you do this with this. And I mean, one of my friends, Layla, she does amazing work in all these different communities, environment, and I mean, she does amazing work, and she's been huge in helping me learn what to do with my
Yeah.
ideas.
And I think that's the beauty of a mentor, is that a mentor has that actual experience of something that you are wanting help with, right? So they can give you their own thoughts, ideas, examples and everything to help you. And when it comes to creativity, I think people believe that creativity is just putting paint to paper or knitting or something like that. But everything that we have at our fingertips right now has come through an idea and it has been created. So I think people can perhaps not look at creativity as just being the art form, but the idea form as well.
Ideas are amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, they are like what have started. Alexia's the whole Girlboss was an idea, right?
Yeah.
And she took it and she made it happen, and now it's huge. It's a nationwide thing.
Yeah.
And
Amazing.
it just kind of shows like how far ideas can take you, but not just for you, but for also other people. Because I guess the thing you can think about as well when you've got these ideas for change and initiatives is that this could actually change someone's life.
Yeah.
And if I just ignore it because I don't have time, or I can't be bothered, or it's too much effort, or I don't know what to do with it, I don't know how to start, that's a decision you're making, not for you, but for all the other people it could
Yeah.
potentially impact.
Yeah. And to not only do your schoolwork and other stuff, but to also be focusing on the wider community. It's a lot, right? And sometimes it is very overwhelming, and you might have to stop and step back and just kind of think about what are those things that you want to really progress with. Now, what else are you doing in the community to help support the refugee community?
So the first half of the year I was pretty much solely focused on the redesign of the cultural competency workshops. So it was a little bit hard juggling that with my exams because we also had to travel for it. So I went to Hamilton, and I was in Auckland for so it was a little bit hard juggling the travel and the school aspect of it. But so we travelled around and we did that. That was kind of the first half of the
And
year
the
for
school's
me.
been supportive.
Yeah. My school's been real supportive with the stuff that I do. I mean, they get a little worried about my academics. Like sometimes I went to my principal a while ago and I was like, hey, look, so I have this really cool opportunity and I have to go away. And she just was like, really? Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
And so it's been they're obviously real supportive of it, but it's just like the school aspect of it. They see it from a school kind of academic side.
Yeah.
But so I spent the first half of the year doing my cultural competency workshops, and in the second half I got started with the yoga classes, and those have been just running kind of weekly and since then. And they're amazing. They're such a cool group of women that come, and it's different each week, which I love.
Yeah.
Like it's just a group that's there every week, and every time I go.
And these are refugee women,
Yeah.
right, who've found your network and become part of that. Because yoga in itself is such a beautiful grounding practice and takes you out of that space of thinking into just being, which is a really great place to be, so that you can breathe. You can literally breathe, because if you've got all this other stuff happening out in your world, you need that space.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what I found in yoga, because I mean, it could have been anything, right? It could have been any sport, but I was never one who liked sport. I was never a sporty person growing up. I'm still not. And yoga was a way to kind of take care of myself physically, but also mentally.
Yeah.
As I was saying before, I have a real big tendency to get overwhelmed with my own brain and my own ideas and my own thoughts. And yoga was it was a slow practice, and it just completely halted me. And it just take a minute.
Yeah.
Slow down. And it was a really good practice to get into for me, to just slow down my thoughts, my ideas, and just the way that I kind of moved on with my life. I was always just rapid fire, moving through things quickly. And so yoga was a real big part of my journey, and I thought I wanted to share it with the community.
That's really cool, because we have so much stimulus out there now. Like I was talking before about social media, and it's just now a machine. There's nothing there that is really allowing us to stop It's because
It's
it is.
fast.
It's so fast,
And
and it changes so fast.
I was actually thinking about this the other day because, I mean, TikTok's really big now, right? And you've got these 30-second clips, and you just go through them, and your attention span is just not even halved. It's like 1/10 of what it usually is.
Yeah.
And I just see myself now. I'll watch a movie or a TV show, and I have to do it on 2 times speed because I'm just like, okay, get on with it.
Yeah.
And it's like just like what that's kind of, I guess, what I was thinking about the other day about social media. So.
I, as I said before, it's like a love-hate relationship for me, and I do hate the fact that it is taking us away from doing beautiful things in the real world, such as what you're doing. Like, you could easily be sitting at home and scrolling whatever, but you're actually out there doing something to help others, which is really, really amazing. I love it. It's 10:35. You're on the Joy Temple. My name's Jenny. This is Hutt Radio. I would like to just ask if you've got a beautiful message for other young women out there who might be finding themselves with ideas, with overwhelm, with, you know, some guidance or advice that you can give them if they want to take that step up, you know, take a step up to something different than what they might be feeling now or wanting to do differently in their life.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is you can find 1,000 reasons why not to do something, but if you just take a look into the real world and the community you want to help, you'll also find even more reasons to do it. So even if you've got 1,000 ideas, you don't know which one to go with, and it's overwhelming you, it's scaring you, just take a random one, eeny, miny, moe, pick one and run with it. See where it takes you, and if it doesn't work, just try another one.
Yeah. You've got nothing to lose, right? And there's no, I don't believe there's any such thing as failure. You know, we talked a bit before about your example of what you wanted to do didn't actually work for the...
But it wasn't failure, it was just a learning opportunity.
Absolutely.
And I just took that and I was like, okay, well, that didn't work. Why didn't that work? What can I do next time to make that better?
Yeah.
And I did it.
Yeah. And I think, you know, the self-esteem for young women is something that is really important to know that, you know, they are valuable. We are all valuable. We are all worthy. We all have something to offer. And, you know, it's okay to take your time to find that space and move into that. So beautiful messaging for people. Let's play another song, and then I'm going to come back and find out what brings you joy. And it'll be time for us to wrap up soon. Time goes very fast in the studio. It goes super fast. What would you like to play now? Do you have a special pick? We've got, I can name them out for you if you would like. Catch Fire, Collie Herbman, Amy Winehouse, Valerie, Ocean Valley Confidence, Sixpence, None the Richer, Kiss Me, or Sticky Fingers, How to Fly.
Let's do Sticky Fingers, How to Fly.
Tell us about this song and why you have chosen to play this one today.
It just reminds me of summer.
Oh,
it's a
summer.
beautiful sunny day outside, so let's do it and bring some people some summer joy.
Honestly, when I moved to Wellington, I've been waiting for summer. For 4 years, I've been waiting for summer. I'm still waiting.
It's coming.
Is it coming? No. Is it coming? I don't know. This is Sticky Fingers, How to Fly, a song dedicated to summer when it arrives for us. Okay, I'm going to just see what happened to my mum. She was poking her face. That was my mum poking her face against the window. She's hilarious.
Did you just post me on my story? No. I'm so fucked. Hit what? Is that the first time? Oh, that was so funny. It's so hot. I'm wearing a really ugly top. You always wear it. That's fine. Like, I like your sweatpants though. Like regular or can you drop us off at the train station after?
Okay.
Or you can drop us off at the town.
Well, come. Yeah, just come back when you're ready. Okay. Bye. Okay. She's off shopping. She's gone to Dress for Success.
Oh,
All right. Now, how are you feeling? Is there any other messages you'd like to share with people today? Or it's always a different dynamic when we're not asking scripted questions but having a conversation.
I don't think so. I think anything I'm missing?
Success story.
No, just anything. Is there anything I'm missing?
You wanted to talk about your fundraising for the charity. So otherwise, just like you can just finish up.
Yes.
It's beautiful outside, by the way.
Is it?
It's beautiful.
Perfect. See,
It's
summer came.
summer's here.
It's the song that manifested.
Yeah. So we can wrap up then and let you get home to your books.
Yay!
Do you still need to continue or?
I finish at 11, so you
11.
guys, we can wrap up now and you guys can head out if you like, and
Yeah.
and then I'll carry on with my show till 11 and then I'll...
What time do you start?
The show starts at 9.
No.
Mm.
And is it every week?
Every Saturday,
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
So I have lots of different guests come in, and sometimes I don't have a guest, which is all right. And yeah, it's been fun. I just wanted to do something to challenge myself a bit more because I was like, oh, what next for me? So mentoring, Mandala, radio show, they're kind of my top 3 focus things at present, which is nice. Plus work, so plus work.
So it's a side quest.
Yeah, work's just a... I work for the Office of the Ombudsman, so it's pretty busy in there. Right, we're coming back on air. Hello everybody, this is the Joy Temple. My name's Janie. You're listening to Hutt Radio. Thank you for tuning in today. I'm about to wrap up my time here with Avin. She's been telling us about not only herself, her life coming to New Zealand when she was 6, some of the work she's doing in the community, which is really, really fantastic. And Avin, my show, The Joy Temple, is a way for me to connect with other people and help share joy. It's a very positive show. I don't do anything controversial on the show because I think we've got enough stuff happening outside these 4 walls to add to people's stress and, you know, overwhelm. So for me, the Joy Temple is a place where people can just come and feel some joy. So I would like to know, what is it that brings you joy?
I mean, I think it changes every day, but
It changes every day?
overall it's
Yeah.
been listening to people's stories, and I think that's been the most valuable and joyful part of connecting with the refugee and migrant community over the past couple of years is getting the privilege of listening to everyone's different stories. And I mean joy in the sense that I feel joy being able to listen to their story and do something about it, not that their stories are necessarily joyful sometimes, because
No.
sometimes they're hard to hear,
Yeah.
but it's just finding joy in being able to be part of the change and knowing that at least I'm doing what I can and I'm not kind of just being, I guess, a bystander of all these problems,
Yeah.
and I'm hearing them and I'm actually doing something about it. So
That's your joy. How could we help people who come to this country? Like, I mean, I often see people out on the street and I know that they're struggling, right? And I'll offer to help them, whether that is just giving them direction or, you know, something, buying a coffee, whatever it is. But how can we help somebody who needs support from people who are able to give support? Like, what can we do to help? I know that's a big question, a hard
Yeah.
question, because it's hard to pinpoint one thing, but is there something we can do in the community to help people who are coming to this country? What can we do?
the first thing I'd say is just listening, is just patience, and actually instead of just like a bypass, can I help? No, okay, that's fine, okay, you walk off. But actually being patient and showing people that you asking whether you can help is not just an obligation or just just a kind of a phrase you're saying on the way, but it's actually you have the time and you want to sit down, you want to talk to them, you want to listen to them. And I think the other thing is reach out to the NGOs that are doing the change instead of just, because you don't always have to create your own change. There's people doing it so you can support them. If you don't have the time to make your own whole new charity and run a whole new thing, just support those that are already exist, because change makers, for example, and there's so many other ones that I know about in Wellington, that you can actually just reach out to and support in any way that you can. Hey, what can I do? And they will give you a million ways you can help out, whether that's through funding or just coming and supporting them and coming and listening, or if you've got some kind of connection with someone that could help, any of those things, and just saying, how can I help? Ask the question.
And I think also, don't be afraid to use your ideas. If you've got an idea or you can see something that you know may benefit other people, speak up. Use that, put that idea forward, because there is possibly someone out there who will listen and help you to not only reach your dream of helping others, but to help others just in general. So I think that's a really nice note to finish up on. So thank you so much for coming in today. I really appreciated having you here. Now you've got to go home and study. So it's time for you to get out, get home, get back to the books, and I look forward to, you know, seeing or hearing what comes up next for you, because wow, what a future ahead you have. Amazing.
Thank you so much.
And what a time right now, you know. We think about the future, we think about the past, but what we are doing right now is also really important and really matters, and you're doing great stuff. So thank you for coming in. I'm going to pop another song on. Let's play Dua Lipa, Love Again. There we go. You're done.
Thank you so much.
Well
Thank you very
done.
much.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your show and weekend.
Thank you, I will. Yeah, I'll spend some time with my mum.
It's cleared up so
It's
nicely.
beautiful out there. Looks gorgeous.
We're not inside.
Oh, that's my mum. Here she is. You right, Jenny?
Yeah, I was watching all the actions.
Come on. Yeah, will you come on in, mum? I'll let you guys go.
Oh, thank you. See you. Bye.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you so much for coming. It was lovely to meet you. And good luck. See ya.
And you were having fun, I can tell.
We were. See you. How was your markets?
Yeah, well, I'm sitting here on air, so then you can say next week.
I will.
Oh, the markets are good.
I want to go to the bathroom, but we've got to put this new code to get out the door now.
Yeah, that's right.
Did they let you in, or were you able to just walk in?
No, I walked in through the door into the tapper, so through that door it's open.
Oh, it's open that way. Oh,
Yeah.
maybe I'll do that.
Um,
Maybe I'll just do that now.
well, the lady just keep playing music, won't it?
No, it's just playing this one song.
Yeah,
So you came through the Cafe Soleil,
I came through, the cafe.
and then you could just walk through this door
Yeah.
without it locked.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Might take my phone. Oh. I'll wait and put another song on.
I couldn't really hear you. I was up at High Espresso High up there. Had a lovely little almond
Oh yeah, they make nice little things.
almond stick, which was just like enough to have. And had a coffee, beautiful coffee because it's Havana coffee. And I was trying to listen, but I could see she's very talky with her hands.
Yeah, she was cute.
And you seem to be having a good time. And when you're looking at the video, you see your back of your hair.
Well, there we go, everybody. You see the back of my hair on the video.
I know. It's because you turn around to talk. It's really interesting.
I'm going to put you on the microphone. I'm going to say, bring your microphone in. We'll put you on to say hello. Bring it. I think you were my first guest, weren't you?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First or second.
And you can say early guest.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Joy Temple. That was Dua Lipa, Love Again. It's 10:50 on this beautiful Saturday morning. It's looking gorgeous outside. I have another guest in my studio now. It's been a very busy morning and hello Mum,
Oh,
how are you?
I'm just excited to be back in New Zealand.
So my mum flew in last Saturday, picked her up at 2 o'clock midnight Sunday morning, so like Sunday morning, picked her up. It was a very early arrival into New Zealand, and she's been here a week and she's here for another couple of weeks. And you've just been over to the markets, got a few things to stock up the fruit box, which is
Yes.
lovely.
Had breakfast over there
Uh-huh.
at Te Whatu Ora. I'll give them a little plug.
Nice, nice. And I have asked you to come back on the show next week because I think it would be really great to talk about family history. And I know that you have been doing your, sharing your love of family history. When did you start getting interested in family history?
Probably about 1996.
So nearly 20
Yeah,
years?
nearly 30 years.
Oh, nearly 30 years. That's true, nearly 30 years. I need to go back to school and practice my maths. So you've started this love of family history, which has enabled you to learn not only more about our family history, but you also help other people learn about their own history through the use of DNA and things like that.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
been an exciting journey, really.
It
Once you
is.
start, it's a bit addictive.
Yeah, and well, it is a bit addictive. We see how much effort you put into it, and you get to travel around and give people talks around family history and different stuff that you're researching. So next week you're going to come in and you're going to tell us more about how you've started this journey, how you have been helping other people on their own journey to understanding some of their family dynamics. Also, maybe talk a bit about me
Oh,
and
that's
what
right.
my family
because
history is.
Jan's family.
Yeah, I am family
And
very
she's my
much.
favourite daughter, actually, because
Ah.
I'm in New Zealand.
And wherever you go, you're always with your favourite. So I'm about to wrap up our show now. It's been a really lovely morning, very uplifting morning, and I want to just tell you what the national day I've chosen to share with you today, because today is Evaluate Your Life Day, and it's a day to check in on how life is going. And it's a time to reflect on how far we've come with our progress or our life goals and ambitions, and a time to do a check-in on where we want to put our effort in to keep focus on the future. The beauty about being really open and honest about where we are in life is that it becomes clear on decisions and choices we may need to make for our own personal growth. And there's lots of ways to evaluate your life. You know, you may be someone who just can instinctively know, oh, I need to make a change here or there and keep tweaking and moving forward. Or you may be somebody who may go away on a retreat or meditate. There's many ways that you can do a life evaluation. One of the things I love doing is using a life wheel, where I look at different aspects of my life and give them a score to really get clear on where things are working well and where things may not be working well. And it's really easy for us to stay on autopilot sometimes and just go from day to day. But what if you have that desire burning deep within you to want more and to be more? It's definitely something that I wanted for me over my life, and I've always evaluated how I'm going, where I'm going, and what's the next thing I'd like to do to bring me joy in life. I think we're here to experience joy, fun, passion. We're not here to suffer, and I think people believe that life should be around suffering. We're here to experience joyful, wonderful things that there is on this beautiful planet. So I'm always looking for ways to continue to grow. Sometimes we have change by choice, other times we may have change by force, and we may wonder what the universe is doing to us. Either way, Having opportunities to see what awaits beyond the horizon can feel exciting and sometimes terrifying. So it is Evaluate Your Life Day. And to celebrate Evaluate Your Life Day, I have decided to give away a mentoring package of 4 one-hour sessions with me. And a mentor is someone who uses their own life experiences and skills to help others who may be facing similar challenges. And Avin was just talking about, you know, the mentoring that Girlboss does and the mentoring that she's had along her journey. You know, at 17 years old, to be, you know, having great mentorship is setting her up for success in her chosen field. So along my own mentoring journey, I've helped women evaluate where they are in different aspects of their life. I've helped them set goals, worked on ways to make these goals achievable. I've showed them how to develop self-love and practice forgiveness and much, much more. So I believe mentoring is a very powerful thing. And if you decide to evaluate your life today, then please enter my competition to win the mentoring package, and I'll be putting the details up on my Facebook and Instagram later today, The Joy Temple. My social media is very easy to find, The Joy Temple, on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and my website. And if you'd like to talk about mentoring with me, then please get in touch, because I would love to have a conversation to see if there's any ways that I can help you move forward in any area of life that's going to help you grow, succeed, and feel more joy. There we go. It's 10:56 a.m. It's time to wrap up the Joy Temple today. The weather is looking beautiful outside. I don't think I need to even, you know, say much more about the weather, because, wow, I just stepped out the door for a moment and it was feeling incredible. I'm going to leave you with a song, one of my favourite songs, and I think it was one of the first songs I played when I started my radio show earlier this year. This is the Alessi Brothers and Seabird, and it's just such a divine, delightful song. Now, everybody, have a great weekend. I will catch you next week with my mum, who will be in the hot seat, won't you, Jenny?
I'll be here.
Yeah.
With plenty of words.
And while you're here today, before we wrap up, what's been making you feel joyful this week, Jenny?
Oh, well, being back here in New Zealand, I suppose, because I don't see much. We talk a lot, but just be actually personally with my daughter's really lovely, because I've actually got 3 daughters in various parts of the world.
Yeah.
And one I don't see, but I talk to them all the time. But
Yeah.
to be with one who's always my favourite when I'm with that
That
one.
would be me, everybody. The joy of connection, I think, is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, it's lovely.
The joy of
It's
connection.
lovely.
Well, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you next week. This is Alessi Brothers and Seabird. We're done. We're done, everybody.
Wave to.
Switching off. See you next week. Bye. I don't know how to turn this off. We'll press this button here.